All right, welcome back, folks. It's football time, Brian.
Yeah, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Bill Nelson Field in West Burlington, Iowa. I'm probably as excited as the players and some of the fans. Sean, I know you are too. Football is back, and we've got a great game online tonight as a rivalry is renewed again with Mediapolis coming to town to take on the West Burlington Notre Dame Falcons. I know there's a lot to play for in this series. Sean, it's been a rivalry for a long time, for over 50 years. And after 6 straight wins in this series, I know the Falcons are eager to get after the Bulldogs.
I mean, Brian, what a way to start the season. Your backyard brawl. Nobody has stats. Everybody's even Steven across the board. It's going to be an exciting game. Coach Brewer mentioned it is. He's ready. You know, we lost a lot of speed with the loss of Trousel and Williams. So we got some homework to do. And
we didn't lose Trousel. We still got Trousel.
Oh, I mean, I meant Williams.
but you know, Coach Brewer actually played for Mediapolis in 3 years back in high school. So I'm sure he's anxious to get after these guys tonight.
Little chip on his shoulder for.
And it's not a district game, as a lot of you might know. West Burlington Notre Dame has elevated to 3A play, and Mediapolis is still 2A. So the opponents will change a little bit over the course of the season for the Falcons. And this does not mean much in regards to the standings, Sean, but you know that these coaches and these players have a lot to play for tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And the way to kick off the season, a win here would look very good, feel very good for the Falcons to kick the season off, knowing, I mean, this doesn't affect their district play, of course. You know, things have changed over the season, the end of the season, and but yeah, you're very.
Well, Mediapolis has had the upper hand since 2010 in this series. They've won 6 straight, and I think as the captains come out for the coin toss here, we've got about a minute left before kickoff. It's going to be a battle that's going to be fought and won or lost up front down in the trenches. The size of Mediapolis is significant, but the Falcons have quite a bit of size as well.
I was being told we don't have any sound on the webcast, so I'm trying to.
I believe Kathy Perkins in Parker, Colorado is tuning in. Maybe she can tell us if she can hear us or not.
I mean, we could hear each other very well.
You sound great. You and I sound great.
West Burlington will receive the opening kick and defend.
So we'll see if
trying to
class
see.
of I'm not sure what year Kathy graduated from Notre Dame, but we'll see if she can hear us, and if not, we'll get Superintendent Schmidt on the
Yes, we will.
on the case and get her fixed up for us. Yes, she confirms she can hear us all the way out in Parker, Colorado.
Outstanding. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. I was ready for some Falcon football.
And I'm sure if Craig Perkins is listening, this is probably reminiscent of his days back as an offensive lineman at Anaheim Western High School. And we're about ready for kickoff, Sean. It's a beautiful evening for football. A little cloudy and overcast. We've had a little rain here in the last couple of hours, but looks like the weatherman's going to cooperate. It's going to be mid to high 70s, and no rain in the forecast at least until later on tonight. So it ought to be a good night weather-wise.
Absolutely. Casey's got the music blaring. It's ready to go. I'm sure these kids have just, the hair on the back of their necks standing up, ready to go.
Well, Mediapolis is going to kick off, and back deep to receive, a name that you'll be hearing a lot of tonight and throughout this campaign, is Isaiah Trousel.
Yes.
For those of you who have been living in a cave that don't recognize the name, one of the most gifted athletes, not only in Southeast Iowa, but in the entire state.
And a little squib kick, Brian.
And they're keeping the ball away from him. And picking up The kick was Reese Richards, 6'2" sophomore, and that brings up a 1st and 10 for the Falcons.
Looks like it's on the 26-yard line. Not the greatest field position, but could be worse.
27-yard line where it's 1st and 10 Falcons.
Well, I would say that the size advantage, at least up front, for the offensive line goes to the Falcons. And we'll see if they can burst open some holes for the speed of our running backs. And Isaiah Trousel gets the call, and he's brought down by senior Dalton Carlson from Mediapolis.
They right away get into the run game, as Coach Brewer mentioned, winning in the trenches. If we can keep pushing their defensive line back, giving Trousel room to run.
That was a gain of 5, and a dive play like that is designed to gain about 5. And once again, Trousel gets it over the right side. He's got a little bit of room to move.
Oh, yeah, nice run. Nice run.
The 1st down and is dragged down by Wyatt Wilkerson, but not after Trousel rumbles for a 1st down.
You could definitely see his physical ability there and his field vision, Brian.
Well, if you're the defense and or the defensive coordinator for Mediapolis, it's not too difficult to game plan for Trousel, but even though you know the ball might be going to him, he still is very, very difficult to stop. Because once he gets in the open field, much like his old teammate Xavier Williams, he can flat fly, and he just showed some elusiveness there as he scampered around the left end for another big gain up to about the 30 or the 41-yard line of Mediapolis.
Looks like another Falcon 1st down on that play too.
That is a 1st down and 10.
1st and 10 Falcons from the 40-yard line.
That's number 3, Drake Day, who's taken over the quarterback duties here for the Falcons.
Hey, whistle on the field, Brian.
Drake is just a sophomore, but he had a pretty impressive campaign as a freshman on that JV team, and he's earned the right to start at quarterback for West Burlington Notre Dame. And if you got a guy like Isaiah Trousel in the backfield, you don't have to do a lot to be a hero at quarterback. You can throw it to him, hand it off to him, and then watch him go.
Absolutely. Well, Mediapolis picked it up on that play. The defense looks like they bunched up left side, followed the play around, and lost the yards for
Levi Eberhardt. Sniffed that one out and slowed him up, and at a loss of about 5 or 6 yards. That makes 2nd down now and 15 for the Falcons.
Might be a time, Brian, where we see Day's arm. And I remember doing the fresh soft games last year where he was the quarterback and showed some very good range with his arm.
2nd and 21, and Trousel has a little equipment timeout, lost a shoe, so he's out. In comes Blake Shear to replace him. And that ball goes to Shear, 5'7" senior running back. He might have gained a couple, and that's going to bring up 3rd down, Sean.
3rd and very long, Brian. Definitely a passing situation. I guess we'll see here which receivers we'll be seeing this evening. 3rd and 16, a very long 3rd down.
Well, one thing that Coach Brewer stated emphatically before the game was they've got to focus on what they do best, which is running the ball. And that's all they've done so far in this first series of the game. Low snap today. He's running for his life around the left side, and he runs out of bounds for a short gain, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
That low snap really worked the timing over, and he had nowhere to go but out of bounds. So,
well, the clock is stopped at 9:08. Ball is on the 43. It's 4th down and 12, and the Falcons are forced to punt. And Weston Hartman and Brady Fife are both juniors for Mediapolis. They're back deep to receive the punt from the Falcons.
Slater Gifford punting for the Falcons.
And boy, did he get a lucky, I shouldn't say lucky, we'll just call it a fortuitous bounce. that'll start Mediapolis deep in their own
Yeah, nice punt by
field. Yeah,
Slater Gifford, punter for the Falcons this year.
Slater Gifford on the punt.
he's a 6'3" junior, and that ball rolled on down to about the 9-yard line. So about a 42-yard punt for Gifford, and it's 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. They're led offensively by junior Caleb Siegel. He led the JV team last year to an undefeated season, and they will run and run and run again at you.
As we well know.
And that ball is in Brendan Swafford's hands. He's 5'10", 160. He's got a lot of speed. He's a powerful runner, and he just burrows his way out to a pretty solid gain for a 1st yard for Mediapolis.
Trying to see who made the stop for the Falcons.
1st and 10 from the 23.
And
1st and 10 now from the 23, a gain of about 12. And looks like the initial hit was Brian Brem that bottled up that run for Mediapolis for a very short gain, maybe a yard or two, Sean.
I think that looked like Fritz. No, Masner for 27. Looked like for Mediapolis with the run on that play.
Coach, got quite a few new coaches on the staff this year, joining Nick Brewer in his 3rd year as head coach.
Nice tackle by the Falcons there, number 9, Luke Shipley.
And it looks like Brian Brem might be shaking up a little bit on that play, but he's up and he's vertical, so he's still in there. It's 3rd down now and 4 for the Bulldogs. Ball on their own 29-yard line.
You know, that nice wrap-up tackle by Shipley there, that bodes well for the Falcons here.
We haven't seen a pass attempted by either team yet, although it is early.
Looks like they're showing blitz, Brian.
Right up the center, and a host of Falcons.
Or a flock of Falcons, as it's usually mentioned.
And I think Reese Richards was the first one to get a mitt on Ensminger for the Bulldogs, and it's 4th and 1. I'm going to guess they're going to go for it. We'll see, Sean.
Well, setting them up on 4th down. This is looks good for the Falcons. Back to punt.
To punt is Zachary Zip. He's a 5'9" senior.
Trousel back to receive.
Trousel has won the Iowa State High School 100-yard dash, I believe, 2 years in a row. He's won the Drake Relays 100-yard dash 2 years in a row. He's been a part of that 4x100 relay team that's won state twice in a row. I believe they've won Drake, if not once, twice in a row as well. He is notorious for his speed and his quickness, his athleticism, and it should be fun to watch. We enjoyed Xavier Williams over the last couple of years. Just a tremendous athlete. He's graduated. He's playing football for University of Northern Iowa this fall. We wish him well, but Isaiah Trousel is just a very, very special athlete, and I know that Coach Brewer is counting on him for some big offensive production this year.
Maybe. Oh, a terrible punt by Mediapolis. Terrible punt.
Kind of a shank, kind of a Craig Perkins drive. Shanked it to about a 21-yard punt off the side of his foot, so that gives West Burlington Notre Dame some fortuitous field position. 1st and 10. 6:43 remains in the first quarter. There is no score. We want to take a moment to thank not only West Burlington Schools, but Superintendent Mr. Schmidt, who
Dave Schmidt, our executive producer.
He is our executive producer. He puts the whole program together, and we certainly enjoy bringing you all the action. Tell your friends and family that aren't aware, you can watch the action live right here on the West Burlington School District's website. And here we go, 1st and 10 Falcons.
Ooh, and a bobbled snap. It was straight snap. What do you call that, a wildcat almost, wouldn't you? Straight snap to Trousel.
Justin Whitty made the stop for the Bulldogs. He's one of 9 players I've counted, Sean, that's weighing in over 200 pounds. But I was surprised that the Falcons have 13 players well over that 200-pound mark. So size-wise, it matches up fairly evenly. There's a direct snap
and
to
they
Trousel.
sniffed out Trousel.
In trouble.
Big number 61 took him down behind the line of scrimmage.
It doesn't matter how quick or how fast you are. If you're surrounded by 3 or 4 defenders, it's pretty tough to escape at times. And like I said earlier, if you can bottle up Trousel, it's going to force Day to throw the ball. And so far we haven't seen any passes attempted by either team. And at 3rd and 11, maybe this will be it.
Look for Tate Snodgrass, 6'6" receiver with good hands for the Falcons. Dre back to pass.
Did a pretty good job of improvising and faking a throw, but just crosses midfield, and that's not good enough for a first down, so that brings up a punting situation for West Burlington, and Slater Gifford, 6'3" junior, will boot it away for the Falcons.
See if he can get another great punt like he did last time with a Falcon bounce.
Back deep is Brady Fife and Weston Hartman for Mediapolis.
Nice kick by Gifford. Oh, and a fair catch called. Looks like the 29-yard line.
So with 5:23 left in the first quarter here at Bill Nelson Field on a beautiful late summer, early fall evening, we have no score, and Mediapolis is about ready to take over, 1st and 10 on their own 28.
If this first quarter is showing of the rest of the game, this is going to be a tight game, Brian. Back and forth, who's going to score?
Kind of out of a little bit of a wildcat formation. There's the give up the middle to Brennan Swafford. He's a 5'10", 160-pound junior. Brought down by that interior line for West Burlington, led by big number 77, Shavante Nelson. I know the coaching staff at West Burlington is impressed with not only Nelson, but quite a few of these Falcons have worked very hard in the weight room in the offseason since last year. And they've gained size and speed and strength over the last 6 months.
Well, they've been very aggressive so far in this first quarter. Even with the running game, the stops they're making are solid, good, solid tackles.
And Nelson is flanked by Donovan Ross. And several other big bullies up front for West Burlington. Looks like they're going to pass, and Blake Osborne is pursuing them, and it looks like he is going to get the first down after it was 3rd and 4.
Looked like 42 ran him out of bounds. Reese Richards. Flag on the play.
Our executive producer is predicting holding on Mediapolis, and
personal foul on the Falcons is the call.
The call goes against the Falcons.
I'm thinking it was on the sideline. Maybe it was a late hit, or it was a personal foul is what it looked like from up here.
So that would be an automatic first down if it was in fact a personal foul. And
looks like we're moving. Yep, we're moving 15 yards.
Well, you hate to see any kind of a foolish penalty like that, especially though when it's on a 3rd down. And of course, they were going to get the first down anyway. But I'm sure those are the kind of mistakes that you just don't want to make. And if you're Coach Brewer and his staff, makes you want to pull what's left of his hair out.
Yeah.
It was a personal foul. Another handoff up
Ooh,
the
somebody
gut.
lost their cap there, Brian.
That
number
was
33.
number 32, or 33.
Yes, 33, lost his cap.
That's Levi Eberhardt. He's a 5'8 junior. A little bit of a bowling ball the way he runs. Burrows through that middle line for a gain of a couple of yards. We're just inside the 4-minute mark now. 2nd and 6 for the Bulldogs on the Falcon 39.
Another up the gut shot by the Bulldogs. They're living their whole game so far in the middle.
Well, if you like a lot of exotic offensive plays drawn up in the sand, so far we haven't seen a lot of those. There's been a lot of 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but I would say.
And they come out of this huddle standing forward, then they jump down in position.
3rd down now and 5.
Loaded up right side.
Siegel pitches wide, and he has nowhere to go.
Oh! Hammer time! What a shot by number 77. Wow, Shavante Nelson. That was prime time right there, Brian.
Sean, he's one of the defensive leaders on this team, and he poured the coals to the Mediapolis running back. I believe that was Swafford. And that now presents 4th and 7 for Coach Morrison. And back deep now, as you would expect, is Trousel for the Falcons, as well as Rel Greer, who's also a speedster.
What a shot. That was very.
Well, unfortunately, we've got a penalty on West Burlington, and that's going to march off 5 yards, and that brings up a 4th and 2, and that will probably continue this drive, as I'm sure now Mediapolis will try to convert 4th and down now that it's only 4th and 2.
Right. So back to the line goes our defense for a chance for a turnover on downs here if they stop the running game of the Bulldogs. Almost maybe look for.
Eberhardt and Masner were in the backfield for Mediapolis, and I can't tell. Got a pretty friendly mark from the officials.
I say it looked like he fell past.
And there's a timeout called for a measurement.
Looked like he was down about to 33. But, yeah, it's a friendly mark. We're going to probably pull some chains here. See.
Let's take a quick little step away from the action. We'll be back with you after we get this measurement on West Burlington Notre Dame football.
Falcons get the ball back, Brian.
That was a nice defensive stand for West Burlington Notre Dame. They stopped Mediapolis after a pretty foolish mistake. And now we have 1st and 10 going the other way on our own 34-yard line. Here we go, Falcons.
Time for the Isaiah Trousel show to keep going here, Brian.
Well, you mentioned earlier, Sean, Tate Snodgrass is a 6'6" target for Day, and we haven't seen him put one up yet. Let's see if we can get a pass on this series, because so far Mediapolis defense has done a pretty good job of slowing down the speed of Isaiah Trousel.
Trousel left side for 6.
One thing I've noticed about Trousel early on is he's a little more deliberate in his running style as compared maybe to Xavier Williams, who would jitterbug and he would dance around back there looking for a hole for what seemed an eternity sometimes, and sometimes it worked and many times it didn't. I like the fact that Isaiah is a little more dedicated once he finds the hole, or to try to sprint around the end and not look for the big play on every play.
Falcons on the 42-yard line.
Out of the shotgun.
Oh.
And boy, was he just
great tackle.
Levi Eberhardt. Nice stop in the backfield for a loss. And as we get down to the 1 minute mark here in the first quarter, we remain scoreless. And that will be a 3rd down now and 8. Luke Shipley, one of the team leaders. He's a senior, 205-pounder. He just checks in to the lineup.
He made a great tackle earlier in the game.
Day is under center. Trousel in the backfield.
Oh, play action here. Oh, it ended out of the hands of Snodgrass.
Pretty good play call and a pretty good pass. I got to say, if it's touching your hands, you need to catch that. And Snodgrass, unfortunately, let it slip through his hands, and that's going to bring up a punting situation for WBND.
The first passing play, let's shake off the jitters. Let's do it again. I think.
So back deep now for Mediapolis. Hartman and Fife. They're standing at their own 31-yard line.
Nice punt.
High punt.
Oh.
And Weston Hartman had that bounce off his shoulder pads, but he was quick to bring it back into his breadbasket, and that will give us a 1st and 10 for Mediapolis as there are only 33 seconds left here in the first quarter. So the clock has moved fast. I wouldn't say the offensive performances have moved too fast yet so far, Sean, but pretty good defense.
Very good defense. Kind of like a heavyweight fight, you know, that punt return there. A collective gasp by those in the crowd when they saw it bounce out of his hands. Mediapolis down. Little screen pass left.
That's number 5, Tristan Timmerman. Some people up here in the press box are asking for a flag on an illegal block. It looks like there is going to be an infraction against Mediapolis.
It was a nice screen pass to the left behind the line, and he had running room down the sideline, pushed out of bounds. It is a block in the back.
So that brings up a 2nd down now and long after that. I'm sorry, 1st down since it was accepted by the Falcons. So 1st down and a mile. But that was a pretty well executed. That was their first pass play of the game, Sean.
Yes, it was. It was well executed. Had that penalty not happened, they'd have been close to midfield. So keep up the good defense here by the Falcons. And back to the run up the middle, Brian.
And that is going to be the last play of the first quarter here at Bill Nelson Field. As we wind down the clock, we'll take a quick break and come back with the start of the second quarter with your score: West Burlington, Notre Dame 0 and Mediapolis 0.
We get ready for the second quarter here, Brian. Falcons trying to defend, what is it, 2nd and 19, 2nd and a mile, as you said earlier, for Mediapolis.
As play begins in the second period, it'll be 2nd down and 19.
Caleb Siegel brings his offense up to the line of scrimmage. He's looking to throw.
Complete to number 5.
Jet Jaden, number 21, was there to make the stop for West Burlington, but not after.
Timmerman for Mediapolis with the reception. Tristan Timmerman, I believe.
Gain of about 8 for Mediapolis, and it is now a 3rd down and 11 situation for Caleb Siegel. He's a 5'11" junior. And Everhart is in the backfield blocking as Siegel's going to go over to the right side along the sideline, and there is a flag on the play, Sean.
Penalty marker in the backfield. Quite a few Falcons were converging on the quarterback, and a roughing the passer call, Brian, on the Falcons.
Well, that's an automatic 1st down, and once again, no coach wants to see a yellow hanky on the field, but especially one that's going to give that opposition an automatic 1st down. That's unfortunate for the Falcons, but a big opportunity here for Mediapolis now as they gain almost midfield position after that roughing the passer call against West Burlington Notre Dame. 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Well, nobody wants a penalty marker. This aggressive defense, I think, might pick up a few penalties this year.
I know we have people tuning in not just around Southeast Iowa, but also out in Parker, Colorado. We just heard from Father David Steinley, who was the Notre Dame chaplain and priest for several years, I believe 9 years. He's up in Wilton now. He's watching and listening, so
outstanding.
Keep the Falcons in your thoughts and prayers, Father, as the Mediapolis Bulldog offense is looking at 2nd and 8 now from midfield here at Bill Nelson Field.
Oh, good penetration by the Falcons, but a completed pass for the Bulldogs.
Number 5, Tristan Timmerman. He's a 6'1" senior, and boy, did Siegel just barely get that pass off. The nice penetration by the,
I think it was Brem, number 44.
It was Brem that was right in his face mask, and he was able to get that off. And it is not a 1st down, though, Sean. He's still got 3rd down and 2 to go, so let's see if that defensive front for the Falcons can dig in deep and get a big stop here.
Mediapolis up to the line. Hand off inside to number 33, Eberhard, and that will give them the 1st down, Brian.
That's good for Mediapolis 1st down.
I believe that was Tatum Perkins on the stop.
Correct me, but I think this is the farthest anybody's been in each other's territory, if not close.
1st and 10, Mediapolis. Siegel barks out signals, hands it up front to his fullback, who is met immediately by Greer. Brought him down for a very, very short gain. Brem was also in on that stop.
There was a lot of movement before that ball got snapped. Brem, I believe, is Trousel's backup. And you've seen the speed coming through the line there earlier. It's like he's set up on the defensive end.
Austin and Mason for Mediapolis up front blocking. Here's Siegel rolling out right.
Pressure. Oh, and
he
caught.
Finds a man. Trousel makes the stop, but not after Tristan Timmerman gets the grab and also gets the 1st down for Mediapolis.
Tristan Timmerman lists at 6'1", 170. So perfect size for a receiver, I guess you would say, in the high school ranks.
Reminds me a little bit of John Wathen back when he was playing for Mediapolis several years ago. Became a great catcher for Kansas City back in the day. Another run up the middle, this time to number 27, Adam Masner, 5'10", 190-pounder.
And Mediapolis is putting a drive together here, Brian, moving the chains. And I think they're in the red zone now. 17, 18-yard line. Timeout.
Take a quick break here on the West Burlington Notre Dame Falcon Network. Your score is 0-0. We'll be back in just a moment.
And we're back. Mediapolis back up to the line here. 1st and 10.
Eberhardt lined up behind his quarterback, Siegel, who's going to pass. He's got plenty of time. He's going deep. And it is caught. It is caught by Timmerman, but I don't believe he got into the end zone, but it's going to be a first down. And there is a flag on the play. It's going to bring that all the way back against Mediapolis. You can see the relief on the face of Coach Nick Brewer after Siegel hooked up with his number 1 receiver, Timmerman, and it's going to come back after a penalty, thank goodness.
Well, the Falcon defense on that play couldn't have been any better. He was right there. It was just an excellent catch by Mediapolis to bring it in. Tumbled down to the 1-yard line, but as you mentioned,
only listed at 6'1", but he plays like he's about 6'4". He's been probably the most productive offensive weapon for Mediapolis so far tonight. Here's another run over right tackle to Adam Masner, and he's going to get a couple of yards. I'll tell you, this game flies fast when you don't throw the ball and stop the clock, Sean. Lots of running plays.
Well, Mediapolis has opened the game up a little bit here with several passes on this drive. Of course, the aforementioned called back holding call. Ooh, and a big gap up the middle for number 27.
Shipley finally made the stop on Masner after he burst through that front 4 through the linebackers, and after that penalty, it's still 3rd and about 11 after a gain of 8 yards for Meepo. This is a big, big stop here. Mediapolis can get slowed down and be forced to punt and be a nice momentum breaker for West Burlington.
Bram was coming, but got the ball.
No such luck as Levi Eberhardt went over his guard and rumbled about 12 yards to get the first down for Mediapolis.
Eberhardt at 5'8", 195, really doing yeoman's work there in that fullback position.
And he gets the call again over the right side, and he is rolling down towards the goal line. He's down at the 10, it looks like, from here.
I see a penalty marker on the field.
I do, and so did you. Nice call. holding, sometimes known as cheating, against Mediapolis. And again, West Burlington is the beneficiary of, that's the 5th offensive penalty against Mediapolis so far here in the first half, with 6:42 remaining in the second quarter. No score from Bill Nelson Field on a beautiful evening for football. About 75 degrees, very little humidity, and no rain.
It'd be a great day for any sport out here, Brian.
Siegel with the give up the middle to Ensminger. All these running backs for Mediapolis, if you took the number off their jersey, they all look about the same. Like, I don't want to use the word bowling balls, but they are
not very tall in stature, strong.
But they are strong and tough, and they can burst that line. As you recall, was it last year that Holloway ran wild against us? 2 years ago, I can't remember. Boy, I'm glad that I don't have to tackle him if I'm a West Burlington defender right now.
Oh, and Brem just leans over, gets in that backfield, starts that mess.
Luke Shipley also finished him off as Masner tried to break loose and could not. 3rd down now, and 16 for the Bulldogs.
The Mediapolis running game, to me, Brian, looks like they all run downhill, straight at you. Come get me.
I don't know what the time of possession is right now, but this drive has taken what seems to be an eternity for Mediapolis.
And a play action goes to the left side. Oh, in and out of the hands of Timmerman, I believe.
Yep, on the coverage was number 11, Hunter Reich. Nice defense by the defensive backs. Good coverage. And we've got 4th and 19, and let's see what Mediapolis is going to do.
And had Timmerman grab that, I mean, like you said, he's playing like he's 6'4", 6'5". It was in and out of his hands, but great defense by the Falcons.
Well, they're lined up in the shotgun, 4th and 19. I guess it's not going to hurt much if they get stopped, and boy, do they.
Fired up Falcon defense, number 32 with the sack.
Rodrigo Ramos on the initial hit, dropped the quarterback Siegel for a loss, and they turned the ball over on downs. 1st and 10, Falcons.
Great defensive stop. The guys are pumped. Look at them on the sideline. They want to get back out there, Brian.
And we got a great crowd tonight. Both West Burlington, Notre Dame, and Mediapolis have pretty much filled both sides of Bill Nelson Field.
Along the lines as well, along the fence. Good crowd.
We got a guy in motion.
Pass.
Day looking.
Oh, yeah! That's going to be.
Oh, a big gainer. Morrison makes the stop.
Rel Greer.
A touchdown saving stop by Morrison. Rel Greer, who's also a speedster on the track team. Was he also a high jumper, I believe?
And a wonderful basketball player as well. That lit up this crowd, Brian.
Great basketball player, and he's pumped up. Now let's see if that momentum can carry them into the end zone for the first score of the night. 1st and 10, Falcons.
Trousel in the backfield. My guess is
looks
going
confused. He's lined up in the shotgun at quarterback. Going to be a direct snap to him, much like they used to do to Xavier Williams. He's just going to take it and sprint out wide left.
No blockers.
Out to about the 10-yard line. Stopped by number 11, Brady Fife. Might have gained a couple. Just under 5 minutes now to go here in the first half. No score. Gain of 2, 2nd and 8. Falcons.
Time for a little red zone magic here.
Drake Day now checks back in at that traditional quarterback position.
Ramos back out of the game. See if we don't go back to Trousel, but he's lining up left side. Nobody in the backfield with Day.
Trousel goes in.
Oh, no!
It's a bad snap from centers. And Day wisely jumps on that snap. That's too bad. That's an unforced error. And that brings up a very difficult 3rd and 8 from their own 11-yard line. Now it's back to the, about the 26-yard line. Big loss.
Dre kept his mind, though, got on it and kept it from ending up in the hands of Mediapolis and in the end zone.
Got 2 split left, 2 receivers split right. Passing situation for Day. And, boy, that was almost picked off by Weston Hartman of Mediapolis. And just like that, 4th down and 22. Well, you talk about taking the wind out of your sails, Sean.
Oh, absolutely. That snap cost. Yeah. We see what Coach Brewer wants to do here in this situation. Looks like he's going for it, Brian.
As a former center, I can tell you how frustrating Jacob Fritz probably is right now after that deep snap that went awry. But those things happen.
Toss.
Razzle-dazzle.
Watch his back.
That was Tanner Snodgrass on the reverse. I like the ingenuity and the creativity on the call, but it did not produce enough yards for a first, and we will turn it over to the Bulldogs on downs.
20-yard line. 20 or 21-yard line. The heavyweight battle continues, Brian. Back and forth, back and forth. Defense looks a little winded out there, Brian.
Well, I've got word from our viewers out in Colorado that the cameraman missed a couple of plays there, so make sure we wake him up on the press box. Stick with the action. There's a lot of action here at Bill Nelson Field tonight.
We'll have our executive producer go up and make sure that the cameraman is catching all the action.
Take the cover off the lens, Dave, would you? Burlington High School also has opened up their season tonight. They're at home at the renovated Bracewell Stadium. We'll give you a score and an update on their opener tonight once we get word after Adam Masner gets bottled up. Maybe a loss of 1.
I will work on that, Brian. I will find us a score of that Burlington High School.
Brian Fleming and Sean Cockrell calling the action here from Bill Nelson Field on West Burlington Independent School District Television.
You're a Nike alum, and I'm a Greyhound alum. So
yes.
And we're sitting at Falcon Field at West Burlington High School, so we got them all covered.
Out comes the chain gang. Stretch that chain, and it's going to be good enough for the first.
With the forward motion upon contact, they'll give the Bulldogs a first down.
So first down and 10, Mediapolis on their own 31-yard line.
The Falcons, first and 10, Bulldogs.
Brian Hopkins has entered the friendly confines of Bill Nelson Field. Good to see Brian here tonight. He helped out with this broadcast for the last couple of years. And here come the Bulldogs. And there they go, straight down to the turf. Nice stop by the Falcon front line. Levi Eberhardt was stopped in his tracks for no gain, maybe a loss of a couple. 2-yard loss, 2nd and 12. Right at 2 minutes now remain here in the first half. It is still scoreless. Opening night of high school football, not just around the state, but around the country. And I know, Sean, you and I are excited that football season is here. Iowa football starts next Saturday at home. I know I'm excited about that.
Absolutely. Go Hawks.
That pass was complete to Tristan Timmerman, number 5. He is their go-to receiver and he did not get much on third down. It looks like the Blue Devils of Davenport Central have a 13-7 lead on the Burlington Greyhounds over at Bracewell Stadium tonight. We'll keep you posted on updates from that game. And after a 5-yard gain for Mediapolis, it is 3rd and 8 on their own 33. With 1:19 left, the whistle blows, and we are going to have a stoppage, and it's a timeout by Mediapolis. And we'll take a timeout from Bill Nelson Field, and we'll be back with you in just a few moments.
And we're back. Mediapolis coming up to the line here. See what the Falcon defense can do here. Oh, good pressure by number 42, Reese Richards. However, pass complete for Mediapolis.
Nice stop by the cornerback over there. I'm not sure if that was Trousel or not, but he pushed him back, which will bring up a 4th down for Mediapolis. Nice play by Isaiah Trousel on the defensive side of the football.
Well, that play all started, Brian, with Reese Richards getting on the right side, getting pressure on their quarterback, Siegel, and forced him to throw it, I think, earlier than he wanted to.
Update from Pomona and Mullen. There's no score yet there either. So we're scoreless here at West Burlington, Notre Dame, and Mediapolis. 4th down and 5 for the Bulldogs. Trousel goes back deep for the punt with Greer. And I guess you'd call it a moral victory. We kept them out of the end zone, but they also kept us out of the end zone. We were in the red zone. So I'm sure Coach Brewer and his crew will have a lot of positives to draw from this first half when they go in at halftime to talk about what they're going to do in the second half to try to pull off a victory tonight.
Well, go with your strengths. Their defense is just flying high tonight. The heavyweight fight, like I said, it's back and forth, back and forth.
Zach Zip is back to punt, and it's a rainbow snap from his center and takes a Mediapolis bounce.
Zip punt down, 41-yard line.
And Brad Perkins in on the play there for the Falcons. Nice job, Brad. 1 minute and 1 second to go here in the first half, Sean.
See if we can put together a quick drive here.
The last thing you want is a score or a mistake of any kind. I'm assuming we'll probably play it pretty conservatively and just try to get into that locker room without giving up any points in the first half. There's Trousel. He's got some room.
He does. Right side. He's still going.
Breaks to the outside, and he's brought down by the quarterback, Caleb Siegel. 52.3 seconds to go. West Burlington is out of timeouts, so they're going to have to use that sideline effectively to stop that clock, and we're at 47 seconds to go.
Single left, double right coming out. Wants to pass. And is it caught? Nope, no catch.
That pass falls incomplete, intended for Snodgrass. Day was being accosted by one of those Mediapolis linemen, so he was fortunate just to get that pass off, Sean. Second down and 10 with less than 37 seconds to go on the clock before halftime.
Well, Snodgrass went down to get it like a shortstop, but the officials were on it and called it a trap, so no catch. Falcons second down here.
Out of the shotgun is Day. Hands it to Trousel. He finds a little bit of running room. Gets down to about the 36-yard line, and they're going to have a tough time getting another play off. The clock is moving quick. I'm going to guess time enough for maybe one more play, but they sure are taking their time.
Tell you what, as much as Housel, I feel he's going to break one this game, Brian. The field
9
vision
seconds. Last play of the half. Let it go. He's got a man.
Wide open down the middle. Oh.
I believe that ball was tipped by
right.
number 88 of Mediapolis, Casey Sandwort. It wouldn't have been a score, so it's academic. Good news, bad news of the first half, Sean. No score, 0-0. We'll let the Mediapolis band perform, and we'll come back with maybe some stats and a look at the second half in just a few moments.
Sounds good to me, Brian. Go Falcons. And we're back. The Falcons are back on the field, Brian, getting ready to start this second half. Maybe we can get some offensive production from that Falcon offense.
Well, it depends if you're a pessimist or you're an optimist. Two pretty decent defensive halves for both teams and not a whole lot of fireworks offensively. And I think what's plagued both teams are a couple of big plays that have been called back because of penalties, and of course that mishap on the deep snap to Drake Day as the Falcons were in scoring position, and unfortunately that cost them about 20 yards and an opportunity to score. So nonetheless, 0-0 is our score with about 2 minutes left here at halftime. I'd like to thank our friends at Jimmy John's for providing some delicious food and beverage up here in the booth for Sean and myself and the rest of the crew.
I did give a shout out to Tony. I seen him at our halftime break there. He was down there watching the game and told him thanks for the good eats up in the press box.
Thank Jimmy John's for feeding the press box volunteers. Jimmy John's supporting Falcon football.
I'd like to thank Ashley and David Muckle for tuning in tonight. They're big West Burlington Notre Dame fans out in Littleton, Colorado.
Update from Bracewell. Greyhounds just scored. It's 14-13 Burlington.
Well, it'd be great for the city of Burlington to get 2 wins tonight between the Greyhounds and the Falcons.
14-13 Burlington now.
Fans score from Bracewell Stadium. Burlington leads Davenport Central 14-13.
Bring you some more scores here as they come in, as halftime winds to an end. Had a nice performance from the West Burlington band.
Looks like a rout in progress in Albia. Washington up 35-0 over Albia. Davis County and Fort Madison. Fort Madison up 13-12 at the half.
Not sure if many of our listeners care about Waco or Twin Cedars, but man, you talk about some offensive production. 52-36 is the score in the third quarter at Wayland.
Wow. Bussey, Iowa, where is that?
I don't know.
That is a busy game, Brian.
Well, the clock is winding down. We've got just a few seconds, and the oh my goodness. This might be a basketball score, Sean, but it looks like the Highland Huskies out of Riverside have outscored Danville so far in the first quarter.
That's what it says.
61-0.
Wow.
We'll definitely keep an eye on that score and find out what's going on at Danville, because that's a lot of points to score in one quarter.
We're about ready to get started here, Brian. Second half.
Reminds me of that Arapahoe and Mullen score back in 1993. So, Slater Gifford is ready to kick it away. Start off the second half in the third quarter here at Bill Nelson Field. We are tied at zeros.
Gifford, a little trouble with the ball on the tee.
Sean, if you're Coach Brewer, what kind of bright spots would you take to your team at halftime in the locker room?
I would say the aggressive defense. Our defense, if you put an MVP to that first half, our defense and their tenacity and aggression was the star that kept Mediapolis out of the end zone.
Nice coverage by Colin Hohenthaner. Chased down that Samuel Coates.
On cue there with the special teams, great tackle by Hohenthaner. Coach Brewer also mentioned special teams was going to be key in his wins this season.
Well, both coaches, Borison from Mediapolis and Brewer from West Burlington, made it very clear before this game that most of the wins and losses are going to come up front in the trenches with those offensive and defensive linemen up front who can burst open some holes for their running games, because both teams are heavy on the run. And we don't have an official stat yet on yards gained, but I would guess, based on my numbers, there have been only 3 completions so far in the first half, and I believe all 3 came from Mediapolis, did they not?
I believe you're right. You are correct.
Second down and 6 for the Bulldogs.
That defensive line just push, getting in there.
I believe that was number 28, Brandon Swafford, the junior, looking for a little bit of daylight, and he found nothing but green jerseys in his grill. Dropped him up for a loss of about 4.
He's got, Coach Brewer's got our defense just ears pinned back, coming at you.
Well, any coach will tell you, Sean, if you can get some momentum either at the very beginning of the game or the beginning of the second half, it's a great start.
Oh, and a sack. Snodgrass in there.
And that is exactly what that defense and offense needs. A nice spark, a big sack, brings up 4th down. And let's see if that momentum can be carried over now to the offensive side of the ball for the Falcons.
You go after this punt here, Brian, being on the 10-yard line?
I would say no, just because you've got great field position. You've got the speed of Trousel back deep. Pretty good kick by Mediapolis, and who's underneath it? They're going to let it go. Pretty friendly bounce for Mediapolis. That's about a 50-yard punt after it's all said and done by Mediapolis. So even though we were looking at great field position, we still had an impressive start to the second half, and that, again, is a great indication of that intensity that the defense has been playing with all game long.
See if the offense here, maybe Drake Day to Tate Snodgrass, open up the game to Trousel. I mean, who wouldn't? Possible screen pass to Trousel, get him in the open in the flat, get him some momentum.
Well, here we go. 1st and 10, ball on West Burlington's own 39-yard line. Drake Day's looking to throw, I'm guessing.
Snodgrass in motion.
I'm wrong. He's going to give it to Trousel over left side. That dive play is designed for about 3 to 4 yards. I believe he probably got about 3 or 4, so a success if you're the offensive coordinator. Second down and 7 for the Green. Ramos checks into the lineup as
Shipley comes out. See what kind of offensive set we have here. Kind of a tight set.
Ball is getting close to midfield. There hasn't been a lot of offensive possessions that have gone beyond midfield here tonight.
Delay a game on the Falcons there.
And you're going the wrong way if you're trying to get past 50 with that delay of game call against the Falcons. I believe that was
second down and 12 and a half.
Sobich is wide right now. Big Nebraska Husker fan. Katie Koo.
And a reception made by Snodgrass. Gain of about 7.
Well, Snodgrass is the most sure-handed receiver out there for the Falcons. He dropped one right in his mitts earlier in the first quarter, but as superintendent and executive producer extraordinaire Dave Schmidt reminds us, he probably won't drop another one if it's thrown at his hands, and I believe he's caught the last 2 that were thrown at him.
We'll hold him to that promise. He does a great job rebounding for the Falcons in the basketball season as well.
Out of the shotgun, rolling left is Day.
Oh.
And he misfires, intended for the aforementioned Snodgrass.
I think Snodgrass wasn't ready for that pass. Dre threw it a little ahead of him, and he's kind of frustrated he missed that because he was open.
Kind of reminds me of Tommy Frazier when he was playing for the Cornhuskers. So, 4th down, unfortunately, for West Burlington. Notre Dame will kick it away to Mediapolis. That's Fife and Hartman back deep to receive for Meepo. High snap from center. He gets it away. It is popped up.
And takes a
Meepo bounce. But the Falcons jump on it and down it. That's Morgan Harden. 26-yard punt. And down at the 39-yard line. First and 10, Mediapolis.
That game at Bracewell, 14-13, is now at the half. The Greyhounds over the Blue Devils.
Looks like we got a little precipitation falling from the skies. Got a little rain out there. That ought to probably slow things down a little bit.
Fumble, but he picks it up. He did drop the snap, fumbled it, had to pick it up, Brian.
Heads-up play by Greer. Came up quick to stop. Sometimes when a play like that happens, it's a mishandle or a hesitation from a running back or quarterback. That kind of freezes the defense. They want to go recover that fumble, and in some cases can result in a big gain. And that one got him a handful of yards. Second down now and 10, 7:56 to play here in the third quarter as the rain is starting to come down a little heavier now. Oh,
nice stop.
Guess
who's in the middle of that? Number 77.
And there's also a penalty flag thrown right in the interior of that offensive and defensive fronts. And it looks like it's going to be holding against the Bulldogs.
Great call. Man, what a push by our defensive line. Shavonte Nelson, Tate Snodgrass, and that left side just put up a wall, and they weren't going anywhere.
Well, calling this a defensive struggle would be an understatement.
Like I mentioned in that first half, this is like a heavyweight fight, back and forth, back and forth.
Well, the field is in great condition, so this rain shouldn't cause a lot of problems. I know that they just put a new watering system in, thanks to Kyle Reed. So let's hope that we don't get another penalty. And unfortunately, as we mentioned that we do, this one's going to probably go against West Burlington offsides. And that negates that previous call against Mediapolis.
That is not a mistake you want to make after having such a great stop and then a penalty called on the offense. Give them yards back, going the wrong way, Brian.
So it's second down, 14.
Oh, and blocked. Wow.
Tate Snodgrass got his big paw up there and batted it down. Almost got it into his hands for an interception, but couldn't quite get to it before it dropped to the ground. But still an excellent defensive surge by that defensive front. And that now brings up third down and 14, Sean.
Slapped it down like a jump ball in basketball. Too bad he didn't have both hands up there. He could grab it and run it in for a Falcon touchdown because he was home free.
Someone's going to need to make a big play, and I got to believe on our side of the ball it's going to be someone like Snodgrass or Day or Trousel.
Another press there.
And this defense is playing
lights out
with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of grit right now. Tate Snodgrass again bursts through and makes the initial contact.
I think Coach Brewer is very happy with his defense. They're not letting anything by them. And the few pass plays in the first half, we haven't seen any pass plays here in the third quarter.
Although Mediapolis tried, but Snodgrass stopped it cold.
Yes,
and now back to punt for Mediapolis is Zach Zip, 5'9" senior. Gets off an end-over-end boot over to Greer, and he's going to pick it up, and he's got
pick it up,
room.
Put him down, pick him up, put him down. Nice run back.
There's probably a couple of special teams coaches that would probably be shuddering right now because when a ball bounces like that, you're supposed to stay away. But Greer said, I'm going to go ahead and pick it up and run with it, and brings up 1st and 10 now for the Falcons. 6 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the third quarter, and we are now inside Mediapolis territory on their 46-yard line.
See what the Falcons have to do here. The ball in great field position. I think we're going to get some.
Day is under center instead of out of the traditional shotgun.
Oh, play action. Oh,
that was almost picked off. Casey Banwart had it right in his hands, and he wasn't able to hang on to it. It was right there for him, and it would have possibly turned in to a pick six if he would have picked it up, but fortunately he did not. And it brings up second down and 10 as Ramos replaces Shipley for the Falcons.
We'll see if the Falcons give them a good dose of Trousel here.
Well, Trousel hasn't had his hands on the ball much at all here in the third quarter. But he is the lone setback right now. Day, again, under center. Snodgrass is in motion.
I think a sustained drive here would be nice.
Trousel
breaks left side. He gets down the line, and a first down and more for the Falcons.
Nice job of following his blockers there. Timmerman made the stop after a big gain, but if you notice the way Isaiah waited for his blockers, and sure, he's got that lightning speed, but he was smart enough to wait for those blockers, give him a few more yards, and that was a gain of about 30.
Like I mentioned in the first half, Brian, I see with Trousel, he has such good field vision. He saw the block set up. We got a timeout maybe on.
Officials are winding the clock now. First down and 10. Clock is moving. We are now on the 28-yard line of the Bulldogs. Now back out of the shotgun is Day.
Snodgrass. Catch, right side. Here he goes.
Now that's the kind of hookup that you'd like to see more often.
You
throw it up high, get that 6'6" body up in the air, which is tough to defend, and that's pretty tough to stop. I don't care who you are when you got a 6'6" wide receiver out there.
Dave Schmidt holding true on catching every ball here.
Yep, Snodgrass has caught everything thrown to him so far since that first drop in the first quarter. And that is second down now and 1. Let's see if Day is going to sneak it or give it to his up man. He does. I believe that was Shipley, the fullback. The Falcons are signaling first down, and so are the officials.
First down, Falcons, yes. We're putting this drive together, Brian. I told you we sustain a drive, get the ball in the end zone, and let this defense handle the rest of the game.
Over on the right hash now, and Drake Day is under center. The give is to Shipley right over the left guard, and he's able to grind out a reasonable amount of yardage there. That's what that play is designed to do. It also takes some of that focus off of Isaiah Trousel when you run that decoy play to the fullback over left guard. Gain of about 3, Sean.
Again, another tight formation here, looking at the run.
Same play, but this time over the
Shipley,
right side.
He just pushing forward.
Nice surge by that offensive line on the right side, and Shipley put his head down and burrowed his way for another pretty good gain.
Wouldn't you say, Brian, this last few plays have been kind of a given Mediapolis a taste of their own medicine with Shipley, just punching it up the middle. Come get us. We're going to put it in the end zone.
3 yards and a burst of dust, and we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes right here on the West Burlington Notre Dame Falcon Football Network.
We're back after the timeout. See if the Falcons can put the ball in the end zone, Brian.
3rd down and 3. Pitch wide to Trousel. He's got room,
Penalty
and we
marker.
got a hold.
Trousel
carried it right around the corner, cut up field, and had a pretty good hole over that right tackle position, and one of the offensive linemen got caught holding one of the Bulldogs, and that's going to bring it back 10 yards.
Oh, another mental mistake, and trying to put the ball in the end zone. We're going the wrong way, Brian.
And the rain has now pretty much dissipated, so we ought to have pretty good playable conditions here. About 72 degrees, beautiful night for football here in West Burlington, Iowa. Mediapolis Bulldogs at the West Burlington Notre Dame Falcons. 3rd down and 3. 4 minutes and 28 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And Drake Day, the sophomore, barks out signals over center. He's going to throw. He's going to try to throw.
Another hold. Oh, and a great catch.
Right over
By
the
Snodgrass.
middle of that defensive backfield was Snodgrass. Made a great catch over the top of his helmet, and I got to believe that this flag's going to go against West Burlington Notre Dame.
What was that call? Oh, a chop block. Chop block by West Burlington.
Well, this drive now is starting to sputter a little bit. Been slowed down now by back-to-back penalties, one for holding, one for a chop block.
And these aren't easy penalties. They take a chunk of yards, Brian.
I believe we penetrated as far as about the 10-yard line, and now we're back on the 35 or 36-yard line, and we're moving the wrong way, Sean.
Yeah, we need to start moving the ball back towards the end zone. This is not a good thing.
To the 35. So 30 and 28 for the Falcons.
Drake Day, the sophomore, little confusion there on his receivers. Snodgrass moves in motion. Here's the give to Isaiah Trousel,
and
he
sniffed
is
that out.
stopped cold by Brennan Swafford. Nice play by the Mediapolis defender. And all of a sudden we had that momentum, and boom, it's gone. It's 4th down and a mile, and we're going to have to kick it away.
Coach Brewer's play on that last play, they sniffed it out right away. Trousel had no place to go. Hopes for a good punt here to put it deep in Mediapolis' own territory.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. And Gifford is,
a little bit of a high snap, and they're coming after it.
And the punt takes a Falcon bounce down inside the 12 to about the 11-yard line.
Now it's time for our defense to get back to work. Defense has been the star of the game so far.
Sometimes the best offense is a good defense, and that's kind of proven itself on both sides of the ball tonight as the score remains 0-0 here tonight as the third quarter now winds down.
That sounds like something Buddy Ryan would say.
Except he's dead. He can't talk
I know.
anymore.
Bless his heart. He passed away, I believe, 2 months ago or something?
He might use some more colorful language than that, probably, right?
Yeah, college, NFL, going to start here shortly after high schools start across the country. We are nationwide, aren't we, Brian? You said you have people in Colorado watching.
Yes, we do. We have the Craig and Kathy Perkins family watching. We have Ashley and David Muckle watching. We have John and Katie Kusobik tuning in. They're big Falcon fans, and their families.
Nice.
Anyone else that's tuning in right now, we appreciate you watching and listening. It's a beautiful night here as we open up the Iowa high school football schedule this fall. And we are just now at about 2 minutes left in the third. 2nd down and 10 for Meepo, buried back at their own 10-yard line.
Time for the defense to pin their ears back and make something happen here. Little pass, dump pass, left side. Nice. Oh.
That was a great defensive play by West Burlington's Tanner Snodgrass.
Get him by the
just
shoestrings.
didn't quite hang on to stop him behind the line of scrimmage. But nonetheless, Greer brings him down after a short gain. Ball is now on the 12, so it's 3rd and 9. They gained about 1 on that. Nice defensive stand again by the Falcon defense.
I think our defense looks better in this second half, Brian, than they did in the first. Mediapolis has had no answer for him.
Quarterback keeper out of the pocket. Goes Siegel.
And on cue, they get a first down.
Yeah, Ramos makes the stop, but not in time as Mediapolis gets the first down. You got to believe, again, if we had time of possession, I would guess that defense has been out there a lot longer than that offense, and these guys are probably a little bit tired. You see some hands on hips out there.
Most of them play both ways, too, Brian.
That's right. I know Coach Brewer has really prepared these guys well. They've dedicated themselves to conditioning programs throughout the offseason, not just here in the last month or two, but since
nice
the last
drop.
game last year.
That
was
swarming
Shipley.
Defense of the Falcons.
Yep, Luke Shipley bullets through that backfield and drops him for a loss of a couple of yards maybe. Minute 30 to go here, scoreless at Bill Nelson Field.
Talking about our defense being a little tired, I mean, you think about that Mediapolis offensive line who's just getting beat up by our defense.
New quarterback back there for Mediapolis.
Oh. Getting that defense back.
That's Brooke Hilton. He's a senior, 5'9" senior. I'm not sure why they switched him in there, but
looks like the other quarterback just came back.
Yep, maybe just a quick equipment repair.
Or maybe not.
Nope, he's still in there. Third down and 12.
Open it up. 2 receivers, both sides.
Another penalty, or at least another whistle, as
Maybe a false start on Mediapolis from where the whistle came from.
I'm trying to see if Siegel is on the sidelines injured, or regardless of who's in there quarterback, we have a 5-yard penalty whistled against Mediapolis.
Offsides on Mediapolis, so let them go the other way. Third and a long.
Carlson and Banwart both split wide right for the Bulldogs. Third down and 17.
And they get pressure on the quarterback and take him down within the 10-yard line. Big sack.
Reese Richards was the first to arrive on the scene for a big quarterback sack.
Huge.
And that is the kind of explosive play that Coach Brewer and his Falcons needed. As the third quarter now ends, we'll step away with the score. West Burlington, Notre Dame, and Mediapolis tied at 0.
And we're back. We're about ready to start the fourth quarter. Falcons trying to get the crowd pumped up. Big punt right here, Brian.
Don't know if you can tell at home, but the rain is really starting to come down pretty hard right now.
Don't touch it. There you go. Oh, wow. Great bounce for the Falcons.
So we've got 11 minutes and change here left in the fourth quarter. The score is 0-0. We've got a little bit of rain falling. We've got some umbrellas up. I'd say that the momentum right now lies with the Falcons. The crowd is excited. The press box is excited. And I'm going to guess now with a wet football, you're going to see a lot of handoffs and very few passes. But we'll see what Coach Brewer draws up for this very important series. There's Shipley right up the gullet. Pretty sure-handed running back as he bolts through for a gain of a couple. About a yard and a half. But if you run it 3-4 straight times down that, and you can do a play-action fake and catch them off guard, even though it's a little tough to throw in the rain, might catch those defensive backs who might be cheating a little bit on those wide receivers.
Even a play-action dump screen. And it's starting to get slick.
The first sign of some wet turf. Trousel slipped right away when he made his cut. And just like that, it's third down and now 11 as he slipped and fell with a loss of about 2 yards.
Is that the line judge with a towel out there taking care of the ball for –
3rd and 11. Ball is on the 30-yard line of Mediapolis. Day is in shotgun. He's going to hand it off, it looks like, to Trousel, who's got some room around the left side.
He's made the turn.
Here
he
to
goes.
The races he goes. I don't see a flag. That is a huge first down for the Falcons.
He turned that corner, Brian, and just lit it on fire.
There's a nice seal block on that defensive end by our left tackle, and Trousel kind of did the rest himself, turned on that speed. A big first down to the 12-yard line. Let's see if they can capitalize.
What do you say they come back right side?
Drake Day barking out the signals.
Mediapolis
puts his man in
showing.
motion. Oh, there's a fumble. And I think we jumped on it, and we did.
It was
Heads-up play by Skerrick, Nick Skerrick.
Day.
Oh, I'm
Drake
sorry,
Day.
Drake Day jumped on that.
Skerrick is the fresh, soft quarterback. Same number.
They're both number 3. I got confused. Got excited there for a second. This is the most exciting part of the game right now. We've got a chance to score here. So 2nd and 11. Ball on the 13. Clock is running. 9:44 to play in the ball game. 4 wideouts for West Burlington. Day's going to throw.
Snodgrass.
To Snodgrass. Hang on to the ball. He does. I'm not sure what you call that play, but it almost looked like a pick play. But a great pass, and even a better catch by Snodgrass, who has, like our executive producer, promised he would not drop another one, and he has not. He's caught everything thrown at him since that first quarter drop.
It's that mental telepathy. Snodgrass with a great way to hold on to the ball. Peace of mind.
3rd down now. I'm going to say about 3 to go for the first, and we've got a whistle, and someone's calling a timeout, and it looks like it's Coach Nick Brewer. He'll have a chat with his offense, and we'll take a quick break and be back in just about 60 seconds.
All right, Brian, we're getting ready to get back to action here. I know there's 8 minutes, 59 seconds left, but a score here is going to be huge.
Well, the ball rests on the 4-yard line of the Bulldogs, and it's 3rd down and 3. So if they can get a first down, and it doesn't look like they're going to do on that play, as Trousel got stopped right at the line of scrimmage, lost a yard, maybe 2. So let's set the table for you. Been a defensive struggle all night. 8 minutes and change. 0-0, 4th down, 4 yards to go. Ball on the 5. Like I said, if they could get 4 yards, if they don't get the touchdown, they'd have 4 shots from the 1, but they got to get a first down here or a touchdown, Sean.
I see Luke Shipley in the game. Maybe a quick dose of him since they've been keying on Trousel. Rain picks up a little more here, so that's going to take that in consideration.
Yeah, it's raining very hard right now, and we have a flag. Is that going to be delay of game? Boy, there is nothing worse. If you are a coach, you call timeout, you come out of that timeout, and you get a delay of game. And it looks like after that delay of game penalty, Coach Brewer is going to call in the field goal team.
Field goal, and I don't know if y'all can see there on the webcast, but it is raining hard.
4th down and 9 to go. Number 22. Uh-oh.
Mediapolis gets the loose football, and there is nobody catching number 32. Rare Greer is giving chase.
Jager Gorley,
but
5'11"
a
sophomore.
miscue, and they're going nuts on the Mediapolis side.
Jagger Gorley picked up the bobbled snap or the blocked kick. I didn't even see exactly what happened there, but it happened so quickly. And he ran about 90 yards for a Mediapolis touchdown. And that is just a backbreaker. First you get the timeout and then a penalty for delay of game, which is unexcusable, but it happened. And I can understand missing a field goal attempt with this rain. But boy, as luck would have it, Mediapolis with a heads-up play and a 91-yard return after that muffed kick for a touchdown, and they will now go for the 1-point conversion.
It looks like our cameraman took cover upstairs, Brian, so we do apologize if there are obstructions in the picture.
Well, if there's a bright side to that miscue, they weren't able to convert, and they now lead, Mediapolis does, 6-0, 7 minutes and 48 seconds to go. In a little bit of a rainstorm here at Bill Nelson Field. We'll step away and come back in just a moment.
An update baseball score, Brian. The Burlington Bees go down and defeat 3-0 to Peoria. Our Bees are in the hunt for the playoffs in the Midwest League. So those of you following that, just thought I'd give you an update.
Do you have a score from the Billings Mustangs tonight?
The Billings Mustangs? No, I do not.
I know Craig Perkins was curious if you have a Billings Mustangs update. Former Mustang himself. Well, on a big play by the Mediapolis defense, lights up the scoreboard now for the first time tonight. 6-0 with 7:48 to go. And the Falcons don't get a chance to return that as Richards kind of bobbled it a little bit. 23-yard line is the line of scrimmage now. 1st and 10, 7 minutes, 45 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. Rain still falls lightly. You can't get it all back in one play, Sean. You're going to have to try to put together a maintainable drive here, get it a chunk of yardage at a time. And there goes Trousel.
Oh,
Watch
Trousel.
out.
He opens it up. Wow, nice run.
Well, as I said, you can't get it back in one play. Trousel says, oh, yeah. And he flies untouched until he gets into the arms of Timmerman out at about the 45, 46-yard line. Big play for the offense. Touchdown by the speedster would be nice to see right now. If anyone can bust one loose, it's Trousel, our world-class sprinter on our track team. Oh, and there's another fumble. They've got a tough time probably keeping that ball dry.
Absolutely.
As Drake Day had it slip through his fingers, but he was quick to jump on it.
No
but
huddle.
That's a loss of a big down. It's already 2nd and 10 as we get inside 7 minutes to play here in the game. There goes Trousel again through the middle. Is he going to hold on to it? He does.
Another first
big
down.
gainer by the speedster. That's a big first down. 2 timeouts left for Coach Brewer. 2 timeouts left for Mediapolis. That first down stops the clock as the ball and the line of scrimmage now move down to the 34-yard line of Mediapolis. First down and 10 Falcons. And if I'm going to make a call here, I'm going to give it to number 28, Sean. Gosh, another fumble.
Yeah, he's feeling it right now. And I'm
might need
sure
to get him a pair of gloves.
The Mediapolis defense is hands on hips and getting a little tired as well.
Well, Jacob Fritz is our junior center, and I've played center back in the day, and I know how difficult it can be to handle a wet football. And it's even tougher if you got to go do something with it like Drake Day does. So there it is again, another fumble. He gets on it again. He might set a record for most fumble recoveries in a game for West Burlington, but unfortunately he's recovering his own fumble.
3 or 4 now, I believe, so far.
3rd down now. Clock is running. 12 yards to go. Ball is on Mediapolis' 37-yard line. You can see if you're watching at home, the official is doing his best to keep that ball dry with his towel.
But after a while, that towel gets wet.
Absolutely.
And all you're doing is smearing more water on that
Well, I'm not
ball.
going to say this is the ball game, but this 3rd down and 12
Huge.
is really, really going to be big if they can make the conversion.
And they do.
And they do.
And for a Falcon touchdown.
Tanner Snodgrass with an unbelievable grab right across the middle. And what a pass by Drake Day. He laid it right over the outstretched arms of the defending linebacker. And Snodgrass reaches up, makes the play, spin moves to elude that defensive back, and scampers in for a 37-yard Falcon touchdown. And maybe more importantly now, Sean, is how's that kicking game going to recover after that flubbed field goal? Because this PAT is going to really, really put the nail in the coffin if they can convert. Here we go.
Absolutely. This is the game right here, Brian. And no
Get on that
deal.
ball before that whistle blows. Well, Becker's kick is no good, but was really good was Snodgrass's catch and run. 37 yards. Beautiful hookup between Day and Snodgrass to tie this game up with 5 minutes, 29 seconds to go. We'll settle down a little bit, Sean, take a quick break, and we'll come back as the Falcons kick it back to the Bulldogs.
All right, we get back to action here. What a heavyweight fight, back and forth, 6-6 the score. And what kind of kick we going to do here, Brian?
I know someone would love to see it onside, but no, they're going to kick it away. Perkins underneath it for Mediapolis. He's got some room. He slips, falls to the wet turf. credit the stop to West Burlington's Hohenthaler. He was there to make sure that Mediapolis running back Perkins did not get back up. 1st and 10, 5 minutes and 22 seconds remain. The score is tied 6-6, Mediapolis and West Burlington Notre Dame here at Bill Nelson Field. The rain is just barely trickling down now. I'd say it's just a mist, but we probably had enough where that ball and that field is still going to be pretty slippery, Sean.
Absolutely. And there was all kinds of movement there. False start up and down the line. I don't think Mediapolis knew what they were doing.
Penalty is called on Mediapolis. That'll shove them back deeper into their own side of the field. It'll be 1st and 15 from, I believe, the 10 or 11-yard line, Sean?
It looks like the 11. Our defense, if we're going to be aggressive right here, is the time and the place. Knock that ball loose, get a fumble, make something happen deep into Mediapolis territory.
Oh, wow.
Great
That's
tackle.
Exactly what you just asked for. And the Falcon defense responded in kind. Nice stop right up front. First contact made by 44 Breen, I believe.
Force Mediapolis to make a play to get out wide. And, hey, how about I'll take an interception for a touchdown.
2nd down now and almost 20 for the first. Both teams still holding on to 2 timeouts here. And here come the Bulldogs in the shotgun formation. Going to be a pass.
Get him, defense.
Now it's not, as that defensive line buries.
About 3, I believe. 3-yard line, it looks like. Hey, we could win on a safety, Brian.
Buries Siegel down almost to the goal line. Ball is down inside the 5. It's 3rd down now and 1.5 miles for Mediapolis. 4 minutes and 14 seconds. The clock is moving.
I mentioned earlier, pinning your ears back and going. This is the time and place to do it. He'll be in the end zone if he drops back at all.
Well, this is a great opportunity because the defense can play aggressively. When you're inside your own 5, you've got to play very conservatively if you're Mediapolis. And they're going to get maybe a yard or 2, and that defense is pumped up, Sean.
4th down, and Meepo's definitely going to punt.
Shavonte Nelson has been all over the place up front for the Falcons. He made the initial contact to slow down any sense of a gain for Mediapolis. And 4th down now, 24 to go, and 3 minutes, 27 seconds as Mediapolis prepares to boot it away.
3 minutes is plenty of time for Trousel to score another. Trousel running up.
The senior Zach Zip is back deep. Let's see if he mishandles this snap.
They're coming after the punt.
Oh, he had gloves on. He didn't drop it. Almost roughed him, but gets a very good kickoff from his own end zone to about his own 43, 44-yard line. Very good kick, considering he had 2 Falcons right in his grill. But that leaves a 1st and 10 now for the Falcon offense, and 3 minutes to go.
I'll tell you another great pass by Drake Day across the middle. I'd take one of those, but I would also let Trousel do his magic. Ball right in front of us at the 44-yard line. Day under center, flips to Trousel, who's got nowhere and losing yards.
Jagger Gorley sniffed out that pitch out, and he brought down Trousel for a loss. Clock is still running. 2nd down now and 15 after a loss of about 5. Temperature has dropped a little bit, I'd say, Sean. A little cooler. Beautiful night for football despite
The
some
rain.
intermittent showers here in the last half hour or so.
It's a beautiful evening outside.
Rel Greer checks in, the senior. Snodgrass is going to go out wide left.
A little bit of lightning over in the eastern horizon there.
Reese Richard spread wide right. Out of the shotgun is Day. He's going to pass. He's going to try to pass anyway. He's scrambling. Be careful.
Oh, and just hammered by Mediapolis.
Yeah, Travis Hull, big 200-pounder, chased him down, and probably pretty fortunate that Drake was able to hang on to that ball. He was looking for someone to throw to. He couldn't find anybody, and nice play by the Mediapolis defense.
Third and a long way here, Brian.
So Day checks out of the ball game, and I'm assuming they're going to put Trousel in there to take a direct snap from center out of the shotgun.
What do you think Trousel throwing the ball here?
I'd rather
third and long.
I'd rather see him run it.
Well, I know, but
I'm not sure what kind of quarterback he is, but now we've got a penalty. I'm going to guess it's delay of game, but I'm not sure. Was that the call?
Delay of game on the Falcons.
That has got to be our third or fourth delay call.
That's what I thought. I thought maybe they're thinking Trousel was going to take the snap and run it, but here comes Day back into the ballgame.
And Day, I know that most quarterbacks don't wear a glove on their right throwing hand, but Jim McMahon did in the Super Bowl. But Day does not wear gloves.
Shipley checks
out. Not everyone else on that field does.
I like Greer here on the right side.
Out of the shotgun, Day's looking deep, steps up, and he's going to get sacked. No, he's going to get rid of it. That could be a grounding call, and it sure is. Oh, is that going to hurt? That is going to hurt. That's an automatic loss of down. We won't even get a chance to punt it away. Check that. Let's make sure the officials make the call before I make it for them. It will be a loss of down, but we will have a chance to boot it away. My mistake. He was just trying to make a play. He was in the grasp of a defender and just tried to get rid of it and make something happen, and unfortunately there wasn't a receiver close enough by to make the catch. So intentional grounding is the call. It's 4th and 26, or I'm sorry, they'll probably add 5 to that, make it 4th and 32. 1:07 to go. If we can get a good punt off here, make some defensive stands, we'll be in pretty good shape, at least for, almost ran into the kicker. Great kick by our punter.
Great kick. Decent field position for Mediapolis, but time is of the essence for any team to take the lead here.
That was a heads-up play. Gifford had a high snap. He had to kind of reach for the ball, got it down, got the kick away quickly before it had a chance to get blocked. Good kick. So it's up to the defense now to see if they can hold Mediapolis, keep them from scoring, and have this game go into overtime. And if the defense plays like they played all night, that shouldn't be an issue. And now we have a flag over near the Mediapolis bench, and I'm not sure what that's for.
Going to be a coach.
Let's find out what the official says. That's a... I'm not sure what that call was against Mediapolis. Some type of a sideline infraction. I'm not sure, but... What was that call, Casey? Don't know. We're trying to figure out what that penalty was, but it was a 15-yarder. And that makes it 1st down and 25 to go for Mediapolis with a minute to play in this game, tied at 6. They're not going to run the clock out. Pretty good play by their quarterback. Don't hit him late out of bounds, fellas. Nice scramble by Caleb Siegel, the junior. he was able to get in about 10 seconds, about 15 yards. 50 seconds remain. Second down and 16. 2 timeouts left for the Falcons and 2 timeouts remain for Mediapolis. Bad snap. And wisely, Siegel jumps on the bobbled snap as that clock continues to run. It looks like they're going to
let the clock run out. And,
let this clock run out. And we're going to go to overtime, but before we do, it would appear as though they will not even attempt another play from scrimmage, and they will settle for overtime. 16 seconds.
Timeout, Mediapolis.
Well, I'm going to guess by letting that clock run down to 15 seconds, Sean, they might try a Hail Mary of some kind here, some trickery. I don't know why you wouldn't have just let that clock run all the way.
The way things are going tonight, Brian, anything is possible. But I would say our defense has been the MVP of the game so far.
And taking nothing away from Mediapolis, they played a very good game defensively. But it's so unfortunate when you look at that score and you know that 6 points came on a 91-yard failed field goal attempt.
Absolutely.
For a very unusual way to score a touchdown. And hats off to him for being heads up and making the play.
And the speed of number 32, wow. He outran Greer all the way for a touchdown. See what Meepo has up their sleeve.
The Hopkins family, Sinead, B-Hop, Smitty.
Nobody's covering left side.
Are watching the game on TV. They've got the big screen going.
There is nobody covered left side. Trousel sees that.
Fair-weathered fans are the Hopkins, as they prefer warm and dry as opposed to cool and wet here at Bill Nelson Field. But 15 seconds to go. There's the give up the middle, and got some running room is Adam Masner, the fullback. And someone calls a timeout. I'm going to guess it is Notre Dame West Burlington with 4 seconds to go called a timeout.
Well, I don't know if that was wise. I would have let the clock run out and take your bet in overtime.
I don't know why you call a timeout as that clock was winding down, but it is 4th down. 19-14 is our updated score from Bracewell. Davenport Central is beating BHS right now at the start of the 4th quarter. We've got 4.8 seconds left in the 4th quarter. The Falcons are hoping for, I don't want to say a miracle, but it's 4th and 11. And if they do punt it away, that gives us a chance to make a big play.
This place would explode if it did.
I'd like to thank our friends at Jimmy John's for providing us with some good eats up here in the press box at Bill Nelson Field. I believe Brian Hopkins has been responsible for feeding us, Sean. He does a good job of that. I believe he's inviting everybody that's listening tonight over to his house for burgers if the Falcons win. And here comes the punt.
Terrible punt.
By Mediapolis, and it is out of bounds, and the clock shows 0. And that will be the end of regulation. And the score is tied as we go to overtime. West Burlington, Notre Dame, and Mediapolis, 6 apiece. Let's take a quick break and come back in just a few minutes.
And we are back here at the start of overtime at Bill Nelson Field, Brian.
Well, win or lose, it's been a great game. It's not reflected maybe with the score at 6-6. But what a defensive battle both teams have put forth here. And they just flipped it midfield to determine who's going to get the ball first, who's going to defend which goal. And I believe the rules will be they get the ball at the 10-yard line, and they'll get 4 chances to score, either a field goal or a touchdown, and then the other team will have an opportunity also.
No clock, no yard markers. This is just backyard football right here.
And they are going to lay that ball on the left hash, it looks like.
Here's your 4 downs. What can you do?
We believe there will be 4 untimed downs.
And is that ball on the 10-yard line?
And this is backyard football. Look at this. We got 5 guys left side.
I don't know how to describe this formation, but I like it.
I do too.
And
Trousel up the
Trousel.
middle.
So there's no clock. There's no penalty there. He had about everybody and their brother lined up left.
Looks like we're
And
going with it
Trousel
again.
took the snap from center and ran right up the middle, and we got a timeout now called by Mediapolis to try to figure this out. I like that creativity, Sean.
I do too. Here I am. Come get me. Little, almost like a decoy there. Hey, we got 5 guys left side. We're not going to go up the middle. Team's fired up, Brian. I think I like our chances here.
Well, I like this format better than the NFL, that first team that scores wins.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It has to be a touchdown. I like this format a little better. Both teams get a chance to score.
Casey Fleming with the Quiet Riot, getting everybody pumped up.
It's Ron Dato's favorite band, Quiet Riot, I understand.
And back in more of a traditional formation here.
Oh, my goodness, a flag. Somebody moved, and I think it might have been Trousel. It looked like he maybe just kind of fell out of his stance a little bit.
Well, nothing's been easy tonight, Brian. And
For either team.
we go back the 5 yards we got before, and we'll see what we can do here on 2nd down.
Tanner Snodgrass, the hero of the game so far, checks back into the lineup for the Falcons. And Day is going to fake it and roll out.
Wide open for a Falcon touchdown! And right on cue, Tanner Snodgrass with the catch.
Tate Snodgrass.
Or Tate Snodgrass.
His brother. It is Snodgrass night here at Bill Nelson Field. What a great call by the coaching staff.
Play action fake worked perfect. Wide open in the end zone. Great pass by Day.
You got to give some credit to Day there. He was very patient as he was rolling out. He didn't throw it too soon. He waited for his man to get open, fired it right at his numbers, and it is a touchdown for the Falcons. Wow, was that impressive.
Nice. Is that lightning I see to the southeast? Well, fireworks for the Falcon touchdown there.
Yeah, from the heavens above. And now what do we have? A timeout called by
West Burlington. They're going to
Coach
try to
Brewer.
put in the 2-point conversion.
Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back and see what happens in this exciting overtime contest between the Mediapolis Bulldogs and your West Burlington Notre Dame Falcons. All right, we're back. 12-6 is the score in overtime. This is their point after attempt. The Falcons will go for 2. They're going to snap it today. Rolling and throwing, and what a great catch by, is that Trousel? Oh, that was Tanner Snodgrass?
The Snodgrass night continues here at Falcon Field, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I'd rather be the Falcons than the Bulldogs right now. That's a tough road to hoe if you've got to now put up 8 points to continue this overtime if you're Mediapolis. What a great call. Going for 2.
I truthfully love our chances here, Brian. The way our defense has pinned them back pretty much the entire game.
We'd like to see if we could get an instant replay on there. Tonight's instant replay is brought to you by Tammy Starkey, Hopkins, and Century 21 Real Estate. Unfortunately, our instant replay machine must have gotten wet in the rain and it's not operational, but nonetheless, we appreciate that support from Century 21. When you think of real estate, think Tammy. 14-6. Mediapolis has 1 chance to tie. Or I should say 4 chances. They get 4 chances here. The crowd is getting into it.
Team
the
is
West
getting
Burlington
into
bench
it.
is into it. And if West Burlington can hold them, it will be an impressive win out of the box.
Here comes that defense.
Nice
Snodgrass.
pressure. If we're going to give a player or an MVP of the game here, it's going to be both those Snodgrass boys. They've been doing it on both sides of the football. Offense and that entire defensive squad out there has really, really held. I don't have official stats, but in the second half, minus 14 yards is what we have unofficially for Mediapolis. I don't care who you are, that's hard to do. So well done, Falcon defense. Second down.
Wrapped him up at the 10.
Landon Greer, 6'4", wrapped his entire body around that fullback for Mediapolis, smothered him to the ground. It is now 3rd down and 10 for Mediapolis. They're going to need some magic here. They've got 2 more shots. And I'm going to guess, Sean, I'm not a play caller. I'm not an offensive coordinator. I think he's got to throw it.
Yeah, I'm looking for play action or something, some kind of razzle-dazzle here to throw our defense off its heels. We got
well, the rain has stopped.
Two
there
receivers.
is a little bit of lightning out there. Nothing serious. There'll be some lightning and some explosion. The Falcons can hang on and win this one.
He's
Back
looking
to
to
pass.
throw.
Look out.
Oh, he dropped it.
Boy, that was right in Dalton Carlson's mitts. Took his eye off the ball for a minute, it looks like. He was right inside about the 2-yard line and dropped it. It is the last chance for Mediapolis to keep this thing alive. 14-6 is the score. We are in overtime. The clock does not run. This will be the last play of the game unless they score and have a chance to go for 2.
Crowd's going nuts. Here we go. 4th down. Let's go Falcons.
Out of the shotgun.
They got him. They got him. Oh, no.
Look out.
Get him out of the get him out. Oh, no.
And they come through in the clutch with a touchdown. Tristan Timmerman with a crossing pattern scampered around the left side of that offensive line and made it to the pylon in time to score a touchdown. Wow.
Now it's time to hold the 2-point conversion, Brian, to win this game.
14-12. So that was not the last play of the game, Sean.
Let's muster up all energy we have in our defense. Focus on that ball and take it down and win this ball game.
So the 2-point conversion will come from the, I believe, the 3-yard line.
Watch that left side.
Siegel. Is going to be out of the shotgun. They're going to go for 2. They're going to run it. He's going to throw it. And
yeah! Falcons win! Falcons win!
And guess who broke up that pass, Sean?
Tate Snodgrass.
Trousel.
Oh, Trousel. What do we call it?
Trousel, I'm not sure what the officials are discussing, but Trousel broke up the pass that was intended for the Mediapolis receiver, and it appears there is a penalty flag on the play. Let's see what it's going to be. It looked like one heck of a breakup by Isaiah Trousel.
This place just exploded, too.
Here comes the official, and the call is illegal participation, I believe, on the Falcons.
Oh, no. I hope this does not come back to hurt us. A sideline violation or some sort of – well, he kept pointing at Coach Brewer, so –
it's a non-contact, unsportsmanlike conduct call against West Burlington, and I don't know exactly.
Looks like they got the ball on the 1 foot line or 1 yard line.
Well,
muster it up, guys. We got it. Let's do it. Defense, defense, defense. Got it! Fumble! Falcons win! There you go. Way to put the exclamation point on it.
What a way to start the season. That is a big, big signature win for Coach Brewer and his Falcons. The defense played their butts off all night. Tough way to lose for Mediapolis. They fought hard all night long. But in the end, the final score, West Burlington, Notre Dame, 14, Mediapolis, 12.
What a
Sean,
game.
Let's hope this is a sign of things to come. What a great way to start the year off. The Falcons are excited. The fans are excited.
I'm excited, Brian. We're going to have some great football this season on our YouTube broadcast. Thank you for letting me join the team this year.
Absolutely. We've really enjoyed giving you one of the most exciting high school games I've seen in quite some time. Congratulations to Coach Nick Brewer, his staff and his players, and the West Burlington fans. What a win from Bill Nelson Field. Your final score, as we say goodnight, West Burlington Notre Dame Falcons 14, Mediapolis Bulldogs 12. Good night, and thank you for joining us on West Burlington Football.